Now let's learn to tie a conehead woolly bugger. We're going to begin by placing our cone on our hook with a small side going towards the hook eye. Once we've done that, we're going to tie onto the hook and lay down a nice thread base. Once your thread is locked on, if you have a rotary vise, you can use the vice's rotary function to speed up putting the thread on the hook shank. Once you've laid down a good thread base, wrap your thread to the back of the hook shank just before the bend and get ready to tie in your tail. The tail of the woolly bugger is made out of marabou, and in this case we're using olive. And you're really only going to use the tip of the feather, but we're going to use the butts to create some bulk for the body. So you want the tail to be about the same length as the hook shank. Lay it right on top, lock it down, and then slowly come forward with your thread, creating an underbody with the stem and the butts, the feather. Trim, clean it up with your thread a little bit, and come right on back to the base of your tail. Once you're at the base of your tail, we're going to add some crystal flash. We're going to take a strand, we're going to fold it in half, cut it, and then we're going to take each of those pieces and, if I can hold on to them, we're going to fold them over our thread like so, and then we're going to wrap them into place on the sides of the hook. Do my side first. And the far side second. Folding your crystal flash over your thread helps lock it in place a little bit better. Saves material. Also just makes it easier to get it lashed down. Alright, so once you have your crystal flash in place, come up midway or a little further and tie in your wire just so it's secure, and wrap all the way back to the base of the tail again, and then come back forward again and tie in your chenille. Chenille is what we're going to use for to make the body of the woolly bugger. And this is just regular old rayon chenille, the classic. A lot of people kind of poo-poo plain chenille, but it really has some nice qualities in the water. It's easy to work with, comes in a lot of colors, it's inexpensive. I'm a fan. Alright, so now let's wrap this rayon chenille forward. Nice and even, edge to edge. You can see this particular chenille has been on the card for a while, so it's a little rough. But come all the way up into your cone there, and then tie it off. And trim. And now you still have your wire sticking straight back here. Don't do anything with that quite yet. Now we're going to put in our saddle hackle feather, and this is what makes the woolly bugger woolly. So we're going to strip off the fluff, and usually we just throw this away, but I have a plan for the fluff, which I'll show you in a later video if it works. Strip off the fluff, get it nice and even down there, But we're going to tie this feather in. Instead of by the tip, we're going to tie it in by the butt. So I'm going to trim my stem off. I'm going to kind of have a little micro barb right there. So you see I've trimmed some of the barbs off, but I've left little pieces of them, and my thread's going to catch that. That's going to lock it in behind my cone. Like so. Then I'm going to take my scissors and run it down the stem of my feather. That's going to separate my barbs out so it wraps a little cleaner. And then I'm going to make a turn. I'm going to start just progressively coming back with my feather. This feather seems like it's going to be just long enough to where I don't really need a hackle plier. My mirror is getting on there. And once I have it back to here, here's the tricky part. Counter pinch with your left hand. Take your wire, if you can see this without my hands walking, and counter wrap. That means coming under, like so. Forward. You can see I sort of missed on that one. You don't want to miss. Missing is not good. There we go. And as you counter wrap that forward, you can see it sort of, it'll weave itself in between the feather barbs. You can kind of help it by giving it just a little bit of wiggle. And I'm going to bring that all the way in behind my cone. Then we're going to lash that down. Several wraps over and in front of. I'm going to check it to make sure everything's nice and even. One more lash down there. Then I'm going to come in here really tight. Break my wire off. That one's a little bit tough. And once I've broken my wire off there, I'm going to come back here and trim the back of my little saddle hackle tip off there. Then I'm going to whip finish directly behind the cone. And that's it.